All right. Well, that was a rough one. This is the Postgame DoDCast for the 9th day of April 2017. And for those of you who watched the game, the Nationals lost 4-3 to the Philadelphia Phillies. Phillies up 3-0 going in the 9th. Ryan Zimmerman with a 3-run kaboom to tie the game. Matt Wieters with a double, which would have been the winning run. And then Cody Glover couldn't buy a strike. He walked at least one. I'll get to the box score in a second once it goes up. Couldn't buy a strike. The Phillies kind of blooped and bleeded their way, and they take 2 out of 3 this weekend from the Nationals with a 4-3 win today on Sunday. The bullpen is an absolute mess right now. They can't get outs from anybody. Steven Strasburg had to go 7. He probably should have pitched 6. Had to go 7. Good eighth inning, and then from Solis, who worked around a leadoff walk, and then Glover just couldn't get anyone out there in the 9th. He used to see the shadow on my face. I finally got the Masters on to watch the end of that. So let's go through the box score real quick. We'll take your questions if you're in chat or on Twitter at District on Deck. I'd love to answer them. I don't have a solution to the bullpen if that's what you're going to ask. But, all right, so let's go through the box score. Four runs, 7 hits, and no errors for the Phillies. Gomez, who blew the save, gets the win, which tells you why wins don't mean much of anything. He goes to 1-0. Glover takes the loss. He goes to 0-1. Strasburg really saved the day. He had one bad inning, but the defense behind him, remember, there was a miscommunication between Murphy and Lind at first that allowed 2 runs, that ended up allowing 2 runs to score. Despite that, Strasburg goes 7 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, all earned. He walked 3. Wow, he did? Didn't seem like that. And struck out 8. His ERA goes to 3.21 on the year. He threw 105 pitches and 69 strikes. So at least with a walk to lead off the 8th inning, not the first time he's done that this year, goes to 1 inning and works around the walk. Glover was just a hot mess today. 2/3 of an inning, 2 hits, a run, it was earned. He walked 1, didn't strike out anybody. And if you were thinking like I was, that Glover was probably the closer in waiting, didn't show that today. At one point, he brought out Maddox to the mound and showed him his fingers and didn't call out the trainer. So counted as a mound visit. For the Phillies, Jeremy Hellickson pitched a whale of a ball game. 5 innings, a one-hitter, walked 1 and struck out 2, but a right arm cramp pulled him early. Then Joaquin Benoit, Pat Neshek, and Neris, I forget Neris' first name, he pitched tremendous ball over 4 outs. And Gomez, who blew the save. Here's his line: 1 inning, 3 hits, 3 runs, all earned, a walk and a strikeout, and the 3-run homer to Zimmerman, gets the blown save and the win. That's not good. So Lynn gets a double, his first of the year. Wieters with his 3rd of the year off of Gomez. Zim's 3rd homer off of Gomez made everyone happy, at least for a little while. With runners in scoring position today, the Nats were 1 for 6. They left 7 on base. Just not a good effort. Just not a good weekend. They got creamed 17-3 Saturday night, and then followed up with a game that they probably should have won. I mean, Strasburg should have given up 1 run. He ends up giving up 3, and instead they lose it 4-3, and the Nats go to 3-3. All right, elsewhere in the National League East, the Mets and the Marlins, they play tonight. That's Sunday Night Baseball. Atlanta lost to Pittsburgh 6-5 in 10 innings, and that's the division. Other finals this Sunday afternoon: Boston 7-5 over Detroit. Tampa beat Toronto 7-2. They had a fight in that game, by the way. Yankees beat the Orioles 7-3. Matt Holliday walked 5 times today. And the Reds shut out the Cardinals 8-0. The Cardinals come to play 3, and hopefully the bats will come back for that. And so, yes, the one comment we have is the bullpen sucks. Well, you know, that's true. It's not very good right now. They used Blake Tryon for all 4 times. He has 3 saves, and they have no one else to go in behind him. There's no one with really any assigned roles or anything like that. And if you sit there and start innings walking batters, you're just putting yourself in a bigger hole. You just can't do that. You really just can't do that. And yet someone said in the Twitter chat that, well, you don't expect Glover to pitch well against left-hand batters. Well, you kind of have to throw strikes and make your fielders do something. You just can't do that. And whether they would have won the game or not, you can't put yourself in the position to keep beating yourself. And that's exactly what the Nationals have done so far. They beat themselves horribly last night. They almost did it Friday night. I mean, they could have lost all 3 games of this series, and they're a better team than that. But you're only as good as your record, and they're 3-3. There's no day off. You have the St. Louis Cardinals, who are a very good team, coming in for 3 at home, and you have a bullpen in absolute disarray. It's not good. It really is not good. You wasted a good effort by Adam Lind today and Daniel Murphy. And, of course, Zim is looking like he's hitting beach balls out there, for criminy's sake. Just one of those things. All right, let's go through. If you have anything to say in the chat, go right ahead. Let's go through how the minor league teams are doing today. Ricky up the game for me. All right, doubleheader today at AAA Syracuse. Rochester, the Twins affiliate, won the first game 6-2. Grace takes the loss. He goes to 0-1 with an ERA of 9. In the second game, currently in the 5th inning, it's Rochester 2, Syracuse 1. Syracuse has 2 errors. Irving Falou has hit a home run for Syracuse, and Taylor Hill is still pitching for the Chiefs. AA Harrisburg beat Altoona today, 6-2. Williams with the win, I believe. He struck out like 6 today. Brubaker with the loss for Altoona. Roddy Reed with his first homer of the year. Potomac, in a wild one, beats Wilmington 8-7 in full season A. Cronover gets his first win of the year. Orland with the loss. Victor Robles with a home run today. And Sagdahl with a homer today for Pawtucket. Potomac, sometimes old things die hard. Potomac goes to 2-2. Harrisburg, by the way, with that one goes to 2-2. Syracuse is 0-2 on the year. And finally, Hagerstown losing to Asheville today in Carolina League action 11-3. Davis with the loss, he goes to 0-1. Culbreth with a win for Asheville. And there were no home runs from Hagerstown today. So that's and Tim Tebow homered in his game today. He has 2 homers on the year. He hit 1 off a pitcher directed 666th overall, and today is Palm Sunday. Isn't that special? Oh, Kelvin Gutierrez for Potomac had 4 hits, so says Ricky Keeler. I don't really have an option for the bullpen. Joe Nathan, by the way, just before the game ended, signed a minor league deal, but he's not anyone's savior at this point. He did okay at the end of spring training, but he certainly couldn't close. His fastball is down in the low 90s. He's mixing in his off-speed stuff, but that's more, again, kind of like when Matt Albers, who was called up today, those are stopgaps. That's not going to get you anywhere. They really have no one right now that can shut you down, and teams, especially good ones, like they're playing right now. Don't forget, you got the Mets coming up. You had the first trip to Atlanta and their new stadium, and you have a road trip coming out to Colorado to play the Rockies. You need someone to take that leadership role in the pen right now. You can't get off to too terrible of a start, or else it's just going to be a long year, or at least a fight for it. I mean, the whole thing is you want to avoid the All-Star game. I mean, the wild card game, not the All-Star game, in any event. So it's not a good weekend. They dropped 2 out of 3. They obviously were just beat 17 ways to Sunday yesterday. Sometimes you can't avoid that. You'll have bad games. It's okay. You're going to have them over the course of 162. But right now, after 5 games, you kind of wonder what they're going to get out of this bullpen. And honestly, on paper, they didn't look that bad in spring training. But We don't play games for real in Florida unless you're playing Miami. And right now, there's just nothing there. All right, let's see if anyone else has anything to say. And they don't. Well, all right. So today on the website, hello, Al. Al surviving his heart attack from Craig Kimbrell's performance. And Jackie Bradley Jr., by the way, has a bum knee. He's being sent back to Boston for an MRI. So Ricky Keeler will keep you occupied and entertain you the next 3 games for the Nationals and Cardinals series. That is two 7:05 starts and a 4:05 start, I believe, on Wednesday. Then there's a day off, and then you and I will spend the weekend together. How about that? I'm looking forward to that. To do the Phillies return to Washington, hopefully to get some revenge on that. Today on the site, we talk about Adam Eaton in leading off, and we do our first player of the week, which is Daniel Murphy, who was hitting over 5. I think he had 524 the first 5 games and had a base hit today. So you can follow the site at District on Deck on Twitter. We live tweet every game. Give us a like on Facebook. A follow on Twitter and a like on Facebook would be so awesome, where everything gets published and we try to get cute. You can follow me at Ron Juckett. We'll have a preview of 5 players to watch for the Cardinals Nats series, and Ricky's working on a reaction for today's game. I'm sorry. As we try to figure out what exactly went wrong this weekend. And a lot did go wrong this weekend. Good to see Zim, though, with a big home run. He really needed that. So for Ricky Keeler and the rest of the staff of District on Deck, who we're grateful for, I'm Ron Juckett. Enjoy the rest of your Sundays and have a, wow, Matt Kuchar just aced 16 at Augusta. So for Ricky Keeler, I'm Ron Juckett. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and he will talk to you tomorrow night.